Hello, today we're going to be covering a quick demo for this article, The Surge of Agentic Development Patterns. We're gonna cover a little bit about my experience and some of the production experience for agentic systems developments, discuss a little bit about autonomy, but the purpose of this quick demo is just to run a demonstration of two different patterns. So the first pattern is the manual CLI agent pattern in this part of the article. So we're going to talk about the human gate at these development processes, and we're going to pretty much use the CLI agent to implement a quick task. And after that, we're going to run an automated version of the same implementation using what we call a ticket to PR pipeline, where you write a ticket in your tool of choice. I'm going to be using Jira. And after writing that ticket, the pipeline is going to take over, as you can see here in this diagram, use a planning agent. After creating a plan, handing that over to a specialized agent. In our case, it's going to be a front-end demonstration. And that front-end agent is going to open a PR, a pull request, where the human gate for this agentic system is only where the human gets to review what was done and possibly propose a change. So before we get started on getting agents to write code, let me just present what we'll be changing so it makes more sense to whoever's watching. So I do have budget project that I use for my personal finances. And what we're going to be doing with this project, it's a React project. We will get the login page, this initial login page, and we'll make some changes here, simple changes. Usually like we're probably going to be making label changes in this page, but we will be making these changes using the two patterns described in the article. So the first approach is going to be using a CLI agent where it's already integrated with MCP servers from Jira, Atlassian Jira and GitLab to create merge requests. And the second one is going to be the totally automated process where we just open a ticket and the pipeline takes over, execute all the works, handing that over to specialized agents, and we just get to review the PR. So here I am at my Jira board. What I'm going to be doing, it's an end-to-end process using CLI agent. My CLI agent of choice, I use OpenCode. Feel free to use Cloud Code, Codex CLI, it doesn't matter if you want to try to replicate the same thing. But what I'll do is I will create a new ticket. So this new ticket, I will give it a name of replace. Even has like an autocomplete here already, but I'll give it a name of replace. Very simple ticket, just replacing a label. And I'm gonna be creating this ticket. So if I go to the backlog, I already created that as a Scrum 13, correct? And we're gonna use this reference because, as I said, the CLI agents is already integrated with my CLI agent. We already have an MCP server integrated there. So feel free to use however you want. You could use that only on the terminal. I'm gonna get a terminal within the IDE here, which works just fine for my Finance app project. And I'm gonna go ahead and initiate OpenCode. So what I want to do here initially, and I'm using a free model here with Big Pickle. As you can see, you can choose your model if you want to pick different. I'm gonna use a free model, this one that I'm using. And let me get to the planning stage first. And what I do is read the ticket Scrum 13 that we just created. So if I tap plan, hit enter here, you see that it is already using my MCP server with Atlassian. That's how we got it. Right here. And then they already asked me, already prompted me if I wanted to create a plan for that change. I could just type, yes, create a plan for the change, but instead I'll just say yes. So there you go. As you can see, it already created a plan for me here. It describes the plan nicely. It points out where in that React component I'm going to replace that label from what's suggesting the description of the ticket. Didn't write a single line of code. The agent pretty much doing that. So from this moment forward, since you already have the plan, you could just turn to build mode here. And it already prompted you if you actually want to make that change. And what I'll say is yes, create a branch open APR. That's pretty much it. I'm already giving it the go ahead to create the branch, make the changes, and open a pull request. Or to be more specific, I'm using GitLab, they call it merge request. I'll call it merge request. As you can see here, it's done, and it did use my GitLab MCP servers as well to create the merge request. The merge request is the merge request number 8. I could just follow up from here. Let's check that merge request. So if I come to the merge requests I have available, as you can see, that's all it took to implement that with a CLI agent like OpenCode. Didn't touch a single line of code, just told the model using an MCP server with Atlassian Jira to read the ticket. You read the ticket, it implemented it, and created a merge request right here. Very simple change, but it's very easy to see on the article over here how the human gate actually drives the execution of this method of working. So you pretty much have someone that's going to be creating that ticket. It could be the developer, it could be a product manager itself. But as soon as the human gate starts, so you have the developer start developing it, it's just going to initiate a session using the local MCP server skills, everything that you can have with a CLI agent to boost your productivity. You could just tell it to read the ticket, plan it, execute it, and even create a merge request. That's about it. So as you can see, after opening the merge request that we just did using the CLI agent, the local server with that login page of the budget application has already been updated. So it already went from user to type your user with a change. Now, for this part, what we're going to be doing is we're going to try to execute the same change that we did in the React app using the CLI agent to read the backlog, execute, and encourage the merge request. But we're going to use a different pattern, which is what we call the ticket to PR pipeline. So as you can see in this diagram, there's no need for the engineer, the developer, to be in the driver's seat in this case. You're just going to open a ticket and a webhook signal is going to be picked up by the project. And the only thing the developer is going to have to do is to review the pull request. So for this part, let's head over to the project. I do have this project that I named Agentic. It's not a good name, by the way, but this is what I use for my personal projects and to implement the ticket to PR pipeline to go through my backlog and implement things automatically in an automated fashion, so I can just approve the pull requests and eat through my backlog faster. So what I'll do, I'll start this project. This was created for a ticket to PR pipeline. Now that our agent's running, let's run the same execution, but to perform the same change we did with the CLI agent to run the ticket to PR pipeline of the Agentic project. So let's head over to Jira. So in Jira, we'll create another ticket and we're gonna be asking for the same change. So let me just go ahead here and type the same ticket. Let's create the ticket. So the ticket has been created, and if we head over to the temporal, so if we come here, you can see that the Scrum 17 ticket has been picked up and executed successfully. If we go head over to the merge requests, you're going to see that the same changes we did using CLI agent, Scrum 13, now we have one that there was close to no human gate. There was no intervention. The pipeline took over, select the correct agent and execute it. And now we created the PR for us, and you can see here the PR is doing the exact change we aim to do. Now let's break this down just so that you can understand what happened under the hood. So as soon as Jira sent a webhook event for the creation of this ticket, Scrum 17, that kicked off the planner agent. The planner agent does have, as you can see from the article, it does have an RAG base and also have documentation, everything about this project. So the planner agent generated an implementation plan that you can see the result over here. Decomposed that plan into tasks, and also, and this is very important part, selected the right specialized agent, as you can see, as a React agent to take on the execution of this task. Once we did that, we asked the React task workflow to grab that task and hand over to the React agent. So let's dive in and check what happened after the React workflow started. So it prepared a branch for that change, implemented React code, all broken down activities here, then committed and open a merge request. So you can see like a nice view of temporal here, breaking down those agent activities nice and slow so that we could see each part of the process happening. And this is something that it's already implemented and working as a ticket to PR pipeline. So as a result of that, we already checked here, the merge request 17 was open. There was not a single intervention from a developer at this point. The developer is actually going to participate in the process now that the pipeline has actually chosen the model, planned, executed, tested, and opened a pull request. So same thing, after finish running the React specialized agent and open the pull request, if we head over to the page itself, you can see that the application is in the auto reload mode, so it already updated after the test got executed and it's already displaying your changes. So just to wrap up this demo, we actually ran two different approaches of executing a very small ticket in a React application. The first one is we executed that with the CLI agent using OpenCode, which was not that bad. It was actually pretty straightforward. As soon as you have the agent set up, connected with, and already integrated with Jira or all the tools that are part of your development process, that gets very straightforward. And then we had a contrast of what it is that some companies are already adopting, that for tickets or tasks that are simple, you don't actually need human intervention, as in the first in the pattern number 2 of the CLI agent. You can actually have a pipeline that executes all of that and then have a human gate that reviews that work before reaching production. That's it. That's the end of our demo. Thank you for watching the video and reading the article. If you have comments, feedbacks, and suggestions, feel free to jump into the YouTube video comment section or the LinkedIn post and share your experience or feedback. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one.